Good morning, I'm Vincent Kasozi. The Danish government has committed to spend at least 147 billion shillings to support refugees and host communities in Uganda. Speaking in Kampala, Senior Winding Alberg, the Danish ambassador to Uganda, said the funding that is going to be provided across 4 years from 2024 to 2028 will be used to build resilience and adaptation to climate change challenges in refugee hosting communities. Alberg said Uganda, which hosts the biggest number of refugees in Africa, is increasingly facing challenges related to climate, which has significantly reduced productivity, and yet the influx of refugees has not stopped. Currently, there is another wave of refugees to Uganda triggered by the wars in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Alberg said it's impossible to completely step in and fill the void left by the USAID freeze, but she noted that they will adjust their programs where necessary to address the most pressing challenges.
Work on a very adaptive programming method so that if things have changed a bit in the context, new needs have arisen, other programs have fallen apart, then we can actually go in and say, okay, he comes and he proposes that this is more important, we can adapt to that. But of course, there's no scenario in which one country can step in and fill the gaps of all other countries. But we will have to do the best we can do with our program.
The Tororo North Member of Parliament, Geoffrey Kanya, has tasked the Minister of Local Government to explain why 120 parishes across the country have never received the Parish Development Model Funds. Ekanya says this is despite the fund being in place for 5 years. Ekanya told the House that the issue has been brought to President Museveni's attention, and he ordered Finance and Local Government Minister to provide those 120 parishes with the Parish Development Model Funds, but up to now, no one has respected the orders of the President.
About 120 parishes in this country have not received PDM. This matter was raised to the Minister of Finance. This matter was raised to the Prime Minister. This matter was raised to the President. The President directed the Minister of Finance, Local Government, and the Prime Minister to ensure that the 120 parishes in Tororo County North and Tororo District, there are 27, and other parts of the country, that these parishes should be given their PDM. Honorable Speaker, we are coming to the end. How do you expect Ekanya Geoffrey being here and you, right, Honorable Speaker, visiting others? And then we have 120 parishes not receiving PDM in the 5th year.
The Minister of State for Local Government, Victoria Rusoke, noted that all those 120 parishes that never received the Parish Development Model Funds were created by the Electoral Commission during the last general election, and they were not registered by the Local Government Ministry. She, however, says that those parishes have now been registered by the Ministry of Finance and will soon be getting the PDM money. Parliament has directed the government to present a statement by Thursday explaining the arrest of National Unity Platform supporters and members of Parliament for wearing red overalls. The directive was issued by the Deputy Speaker Thomas Taiwa following complaints from the Mukono Municipality MP Betty Namboze, who revealed that several NUP supporters, including the Matinde East MP Derek Nyeko and Chadondo East MP Mwada Ankunyinji, were arrested during the Kawempe North by-election campaign for wearing their party's red overall uniform. Namboze questioned why the NUP's official attire was being treated as military wear and demanded that the government clarify when red overalls became part of the UPDF uniform.
Yesterday, I was part of a public meeting in the by-election campaign of Kawempe North, Right Honorable Speaker, as a member of NUP. In that meeting, Mr. Speaker, I was with Honorable Abdallah Chwanka, who was dressed in a red attire, Right Honorable Speaker. Soon after the meeting, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Abdallah Chwanka was arrested, and eventually he was released on bond. And when I read the bond form, the first that was provided for on that bond form was that he had been charged of an offense related to a uniform. And I don't know, as a world procedure, if the government has informed this House that a red attire is now a uniform of a certain organization or a board of government.
In response, State Minister for Trade David Bahati said the government is still reviewing amendments to the UPDF Act and will address the issue afterwards. However, the Deputy Speaker insisted that the government must table a statement on the matter tomorrow. Civil society organizations and the network of people living with HIV have called on government to urgently establish an emergency task force within the Uganda Aids Commission to manage the current health funding crisis. This follows the abrupt termination of USAID-funded health programs, including those for HIV, TB, malaria, and Ebola, a move they warn will devastate Uganda's health sector. Speaking at the HEPS Uganda headquarters, Immaculate Omugisha urged the government to fast-track the National Health Insurance Scheme and increase health sector financing to address funding gaps. Richard Lusimbo of the Uganda Key Population Consortium described the termination of USAID programs as cruel and illegal, emphasizing the urgent need for community-led health responses.
What termination means is that there will be no flow of funds from the US government, from the funding streams that have been providing under USAID. So that's the first reality that we are dealing with. And this is why we are all here as advocates saying our own government needs to step up, because the funding is not there. It's no longer thinking about it. It's no longer we shall see or not. But also let's not forget that this funding has also been supporting the work of Ebola, supporting the work of Mpox, supporting the work of malaria, tuberculosis and cancer.
The High Court in Kampala has ordered the Bank of Uganda to pay 200 million shillings to C&S Upholstery Ltd, a carpet supplier company, as damages for lost earnings arising from a breach of statutory duty by the central bank. Justice Musa Sekana issued the award, saying the Bank of Uganda breached the statutory duty when it treated the firm unfairly by rejecting a bid by the firm to supply carpets on 6 floors of the bank's new building and going ahead to write a letter to the Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Authority on the 4th of May 2019, recommending the suspension of the company from PPDA proceedings due to the alleged forgery of authorization letters from its suppliers. The central bank did this without proof of the alleged forgery. Sekana notes that the Bank of Uganda failed to carry out its due diligence or its own investigations, and the PPDA found no merit in the allegations of forgery because the manufacturer's authorization was properly issued by Windsor International. The judge has also awarded an interest of 15% per annum from the date of judgment until payment in full of the award. For more stories and the latest updates, log on to sinufm.com.